Hey, what's up everybody? Brad Tillery, and I wanted to walk through the InBody results sheet and just how to interpret the data, what it all means. A lot of times we'll get these scans and even one of our coaches will walk through with a client what each column means, and a lot of times it's just too much information to remember. So I wanted to go ahead and put this in a video form so you can always refer back to it over time as you have questions about your InBody scan. So what we're going to do, all right, so here's our InBody report. And what we're going to do is start at the very top where it says body composition analysis. We see here total body water, 106.5 pounds, dry lean mass, 39.2, body fat mass, 15.6, weight, 161.3. I'm just going to focus here on the total body water because we're going to get some more of this data here in a second. This total body water right here at the top, where's it at? Right here. This should always be at least 60% of your overall body weight. Okay, so our muscles are mainly water, so this is a representation of water. Now, if let's say you haven't been very good about drinking water and this next month you really ramp it up, you know that water is going to really help you from craving standpoint and chemical function standpoint, and so you really ramp up your water. You could, in theory, gain a couple pounds of water weight that wouldn't be a bad weight at all to gain, but on the scale, you might freak out and go, oh my gosh, I gained 2 extra pounds. So we like to watch this water number real closely to see how it's changing. And again, if you put some muscle on, the water number is likely to come up too because muscle is over 90% water, okay? From here, we go to muscle fat analysis. And so we see here the weight, 161 pounds, 161.3, skeletal muscle mass, 83.8, and body fat mass, 15.6 pounds. And so what I'm going to note is right in here, this little zone is kind of your sweet spot. Okay, right in here, this 85 to 115%, those are percentages. This is based on your skeletal structure, where your ideal weight should fall. And this person here, they're within their ideal weight, as you can see. Now, as we look at skeletal muscle mass, this person is actually outside of kind of their recommended amount, but this is actually a good problem to have because we know that muscle is metabolically active tissue. There's really not a thing as having too much muscle. And so for this person to be over that mark, that's actually great. We scan over here to basal metabolic rate, which is right here, 1797. This is how many calories this person's muscles burn every day. So you can see how having a few extra pounds of muscle can really help your metabolism. It allows you a little more freedom in your diet, and when we have a good amount of muscle, we don't have to be quite as strict. So muscle is a great thing. Down here we have body fat mass in pounds. So we see this person here has 15.6 pounds of body fat, okay, which is actually a little bit under where they should be, but again, that's okay. They're still within a healthy range in terms of body fat percentage, which we'll see here in a second. Obesity analysis, we find this person's body fat percentage, the bottom line at 9.7%. Okay, this is a male scan. The top line, body mass index, we do not concern ourselves here because, again, if you have a good amount of muscle, then it's going to show you as being overweight, just like this scan here. This person's coming in at 24.5. He's 9.7% body fat, but this is saying, you're a little overweight. So we don't concern ourselves with that. Again, every athlete in the world is going to come up as overweight here. So really we're focused on body fat percentage because, again, that is of your body, how much of it's fat. Moving down, segmental lean analysis. This is kind of the analysis of your body and how is your muscular balance. So we see here left arm, right arm. This person's carrying 8.66 pounds of muscle on the left, 8.93 pounds on the right. As a percentage, 125.9, 122.3. So we have a little bit of an imbalance. Because it's around 3% or less, we're not going to be too concerned about that. But this will show you if you have a weaker side or an injured side, something to be very cautious of. So you might need to do some more unilateral work and things to even that out if you notice a big discrepancy. Now on these numbers, we always want them to be above 100%. Okay, this is saying this person has 100% the muscle they need to adequately support their joints. And so as we see here, this person's got great musculature. Legs are coming in almost balanced, just a little bit off, over 100%. Sometimes we'll see folks come in that are inactive or don't strength train, and they'll come in at 78%, 82%. This just means their hips, their knees, their ankles may be a little more susceptible to injury because they're just not, they don't have the musculature around the joints they really should have. Okay, trunk, same thing. We're looking at muscle here. This person checks out. They're above 100%. Things look pretty well balanced. Okay, here at the bottom you see composition history. So when you get your first scan with us, this first box will be filled in. It's going to have your current weight, your skeletal muscle mass, and your total body fat percentage. All right. When you rescan 30 days later, it'll show up in the next column on your second printout. So you'll have your weight, your skeletal muscle mass, and body fat percentage. Now for this competition, we're looking at increase in skeletal muscle mass, which is right here in the center column, and percentage of body fat decrease. So obviously in 1 month, you're probably not going to see radical change in either category, but we're hoping you see some moderate improvement in both that kind of really encourages you to keep pressing on through the remainder of the summer. So if you see a little bit of bump in muscle, some decrease in fat, that's a huge win. You're probably not going to see 5 or 6 pounds of muscle in a month. We may have to drug test you if that's the case. You're probably not going to see 20-pound fat loss in a month. Again, we'd be real concerned if we saw something like that. So, but again, positive steps in both directions are where we're going to see a lot of encouragement. So when you finish your scan, what you're going to do is put your name on top of it and leave it on our front counter. You'll see a folder on the front counter where you'll leave your scan. One final thing, over here in the right column, you see body fat, lean body mass control. They're going to give you an overall recommendation of, to get to your ideal composition, how much fat should you lose and how much lean muscle should you gain. This person's 0 on both. So this person does not need to lose any fat or gain any muscle to be considered their ideal frame. So again, don't get caught up if you see a number that's like minus 25 pounds, minus 30 pounds. That's not saying, hey, you go lose this much weight. That's saying, if you ever want to be on the cover of a magazine and really get a sense of what your ideal physique would be, this is the weight you'd have to lose or muscle you'd have to gain. So don't get too caught up in that. Again, that's just kind of the best case scenario. We use this a lot of times to show folks what their absolute leanest might be. So if I have a female client that says, I really want to be 125 again, but this tells us that 135, 140 is her ideal low, well, that just allows me to have that conversation of, hey, standard's probably a little bit different than what you think. So it just gives us a point to kind of coach some people up on. So again, guys, once you finish your scan, you're going to put your name on it, leave it on the folder on the check-in counter, and you are good to go. All right, that's InBody Scan 101.